If you don't know, this is Sylvester McCoy, the Seventh Doctor.
And if you don't know, you shouldn't be watching.
That's true. I imagine they'd be confused. You were the Doctor when the show got canceled in '89. You were there when it came back in '93 and '96, and now it's 2013, and you're here celebrating 50 years of the show, and it's back and it's bigger. And what has that experience been like? Just sort of the journey of it.
Well, it's quite extraordinary, really, because you never conceived that it would last 50 years, but also one never believed that it wouldn't carry on, but you never thought in those terms of 50 years. I mean, we just celebrated, I think, 30 years when I was in it. Definitely 25. Yeah, Silver Nemesis was on the 25th anniversary.
30 did Dimensions of Time.
Yeah. So, but 50, you didn't think that way. One should really, being a time traveller.
It's true.
But anyway, here we are, 50 years. That's great. It's been a privilege, and I'm so lucky, to have got the job.
Yeah. So
I mean, twice I tried to kill it off, but I didn't succeed, so I've given up now.
Speaking of that, you sort of, the Seventh Doctor sort of has a few distinct eras between, Ace and Hex and Mel and now Klein and Aerosmith. And how do you prepare for those sort of different parts? Because Big Finish kind of jumps you back and forth.
Well, you just, learn the lines and try not to bump into the monsters. In fact, no, Big Finish you don't. It's one of the joys of Big Finishes. You don't have to learn the lines. You just read them, really.
Just don't bump into the microphone.
But just, read the lines and don't bump into the microphone. But the monsters, yes.
Yeah. Speaking of Big Finish, you just, the 50th anniversary special from them, The Light at the End, was just released. What was it like? I know that most people recorded separately, so sort of who did you record with, and what was that like?
Well, I think Peter Davidson and I were in the studio at the same time. I have no idea if we were in the same scenes. No, it was so complicated, really. They did an amazing job, considering we weren't in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, certainly.
But over the years, that's happened a few times. I've been in stories where I couldn't make the recording dates, and I had to come in by myself and do it, or Sophie couldn't make it, and so or maybe one of the other main characters. So it's something you get used to. But then again, you could do the same thing in film. You don't necessarily have to be in the same studio at the same time with the other actor.
You're already kind of part of a huge franchise in Doctor Who, but now you've just joined the Hobbit franchise too. How has going into the role of Radagast, how does that sort of compare to the Seventh Doctor? Is there any similarity, or?
Well, the similarity, you might find this hard to believe, are played by the same actor.
Oh.
There's a very strong similarity in that, really.
Visually, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the opposite of the similarity is the fact that there's about 25 years difference in the ages. I'm not sure which way, really, but because who knows how old the wizard is. I suppose he might be 950 as well. Maybe why is it I always get these parts that people are 950 years old?
You seem very wise.
Oh, well. You can cons most of the people most of the time then.
There you go. That's the trick.
Yeah.
So sort of preparing for Radagast, what was the process for that sort of?
Well, you go out and get birds to poo on your head.
It was trying to dance around that one, but yeah, you do have a bit of bird poo on your head.
A bit. Anyway, well, I don't know. I'm an instinctive actor. I sometimes don't know what's going to happen until it happens. In the theatre, I do the same, which is you just step. Every night it's different because it's a different atmosphere, a different audience, and you just step off the cliff, and you don't know whether you're going to fly or fall, which is quite exciting. And out of that, something happens. It's kind of magical, really, because people say, "How do you do it?" I have no idea. Just do it, and I mean, I don't think that Radagast is like Doctor Who, but maybe he is to other people, because Radagast's problems and interesting journey was completely different from Doctor Who's. So you just think about that journey that you're about to go on with your character, and although it's quite interesting that part of Radagast kind of was kind of comedic to begin with, and then as it develops, I think it gets darker. I haven't seen the second film, but I have a feeling it is darker. I'm trying to remember, the scenes I did, because they were about 2.5 years ago, and then there's a third one coming out later, so I think there is that parallel by coincidence in a kind of comic early element and then a later darker piece. But we shall find out.
Yes, it's true. It's funny you mentioned the comedic side, because before I even saw you in Doctor Who, I had an ex who had a tape of the Secret Policeman's Ball, and I distinctly remember you hammering nails into your nose.
Oh yes, well,
it's a bit of a show.
Well, it's a good way to kind of clear the sinuses.
I can imagine.
I mean, that's one thing I've been really pleased about in my career, that I've been privileged to be able to play those kind of parts. 1 minute comedy and then turns it dark and sad and all the emotions. And that's, all the emotions that that's what actors like to be able to express. Yeah. Well, some of them anyway. I like to do all that. Some people like to do just, on a straight line.
Stay in one corner.
Yeah. And they can be great in that corner, but I like to jump about all over the place.
You like to explore, have a bit of range.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you for talking with us.
Pleasure.
Sylvester McCoy.
Mm-hmm. That's me.